Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. What if Emu forces the return of the Abyss mark on Shanks and takes control of his body? Based on the current manga, we can see that this is going to happen, and I'm going to reveal how. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, let's get straight to the point, because One Piece always surprises us with twists that seem impossible until they actually happen. Remember those recent chapters where Oda reveals more about Emu and the world government, showing that their power goes far beyond what we imagined. Emu isn't just a mysterious villain sitting at the top of the hierarchy. Emu is someone with abilities that completely defy the logic of the pirate world. And the Abyss? That's what makes everything even more intriguing. From what we've seen in the latest scans, the Abyss is this dark connection that Emu imposes on loyal servants, like an invisible tattoo of absolute control. It's not just a symbol, it's a channel of power that amplifies strength, heals severe wounds, and for top figures like the Gorosei, can even flirt with immortality. We've seen this in action when the Gorosei regenerate from damage that would kill any other character explosions. Deep cuts, nothing takes them down for good. And the God's Knights? They also seem untouchable, suggesting that the Abyss elevates them to a divine level, literally serving Emu as unbeatable guardians. Now think about Shanks, the legendary red-haired pirate, the Yonko who inspired Luffy from the very beginning. In the manga, Oda has given us subtle hints about Shanks' past, especially in that iconic scene where he loses his arm to the Lord of the Coast. That wasn't a silly accident, it was a conscious bet on the future, sacrificing part of himself to motivate the next generation. But what if that bite wasn't just a physical loss? Fans have speculated about this for years, and with the recent revelations about the Abyss, it makes sense to connect the dots. Did Shanks already carry that mark? From what the manga implies through flashbacks and cryptic dialogue, yes, he was marked at some point, maybe during interactions with the world government that haven't been fully explored yet. And the arm that was torn off, that could have been what freed him from the mark, literally cutting the connection with Emu. It's an idea that fits perfectly with the theme of freedom versus control that Oda loves to explore. But here's the fun part. What if Emu, sitting on the throne in Mary Joyce, decides to reactivate or reapply that mark to Shanks? The current manga shows that Emu operates remotely, influencing events without needing to move. We've seen this with the Gorosei being commanded from afar, regenerating and obeying mental orders. Emu doesn't need physical contact for everything. The Abyss seems to be a spiritual or energetic network that transcends distance. Imagine Emu focusing their will, using supreme haki or some ancient devil fruit. After all, legends about the Void centuries suggest powers beyond ordinary devil fruits. If Shanks still has remnants of that mark in his body, even without his arm, Emu could force its return, like a dormant virus waking up, a forced regeneration of the connection. This isn't random speculation. It's based on how the manga describes the Abyss as something inherent, not just superficial. So what happens if that actually occurs? Shanks, the free and unpredictable man, could be dominated. Emu has the power to possess those who carry the mark. We've seen hints of this with the Gorosei acting like puppets, their actions synchronized with Emu's will. It's not full possession like in horror movies, but a subtle control that enforces absolute loyalty. Would Shanks fight back? Of course. His conqueror's haki is legendary, capable of intimidating admirals and Yonko alike. But against Emu, who seems to be the peak of power in One Piece, it would be an epic internal battle, with Shanks resisting while his body obeys involuntary commands. Think about the implications. Shanks turning against the Straw Hats or sabotaging pirate alliances. Luffy would be devastated, seeing his idol turned into a puppet. Let's go deeper without repeating ideas. The recent manga focuses on the Egghead arc, where revelations about the world government come pouring in. Vegapunk mentions ancient technologies and powers that echo the Abyss, suggesting that Emu uses something from the Void Century to maintain control. Shanks, with his mysterious connection to the Figureland family, remember those dialogues about his noble lineage? Would be a perfect target for reactivation. He's not just a pirate, he's someone who escaped the system, and Emu hates holes in the net. Forcing the Abyss back onto him would be poetic revenge, using Shanks' own sacrifice against him. For fun, imagine the scene. Shanks at sea, feeling a phantom burning sensation in his missing arm, like a ghost limb becoming real again. His crew notices him breaking into a cold sweat, eyes glazed over. "Captain, are you okay?" Ben Beckman asks. But Shanks is already already fighting a war inside himself. Imu, laughing in the darkness, whispers commands. This lines up perfectly with Oda's theme of destiny versus choice. Shanks chose to lose his arm to bet on Luffy, but what if Imu turns that choice against him? It doesn't feel forced. The manga plants seeds with the marks on servants, showing that once marked, you are always marked in essence. Now, is this a real possibility? The manga doesn't confirm it, but it strongly suggests it based on what we've seen. Imu controls the Gorosei from afar, regenerating them instantly. Why wouldn't that extend to former servants? Shanks has shown rare vulnerabilities, like during his meeting with the Gorosei, he entered Mary Jaws without a fight, hinting at past ties. Reactivating the Abyss would be a twist that raises the final stakes. Luffy versus a possessed Shanks? Guaranteed heartbreak. Let's speculate a bit more. How would Shanks react? His haki is so powerful that it once drove off an admiral from a distance. Maybe he could use that to block the possession, creating a clash of wills. Imu, as an ancient entity, could overwhelm him, forcing Shanks into actions against his nature, like attacking allies. This echoes One Piece themes of friendship and forced betrayal, similar to how Kuma was programmed against his own will. Now let's move to the impact on the story. If Imu takes control of Shanks, the balance among the Yonko collapses. Blackbeard would gain room to move. Buggy would be completely confused, and Luffy would be pushed to accelerate toward Laugh Tale. But Shanks knows secrets about the One Piece he was with Roger. Imu using that knowledge through possession could reveal mysteries too early, forcing Oda to accelerate major revelations. It's fun to imagine the dialogue. Shanks, voice trembling, "Luffy, run! This isn't me!" as he attacks. Luffy, stubborn as ever, "I'm going to save you, Shanks!" An emotional battle, haki colliding everywhere. All of this is grounded in the manga, where possession and mind control already exist through devil fruits like sugars or puddings, but taken to an entirely higher level. And what about immortality? For Shanks, the Abyss could heal old wounds, but at the cost of his soul. He would reject it, choosing death over servitude. That would justify the chapters where Oda highlights heroic sacrifices. Continuing this idea, imagine Imu activating it during a massive war, like one against the revolutionaries. Shanks, right in the middle of it, becomes an unwilling traitor. Dragon would be shocked. Sabo furious. Connections to Shanks' past would be revealed. Maybe he was marked when he was young, escaping only by losing his arm. The manga implies that the Abyss can only be removed through extreme means, such as amputation. Reinstalling it from afar? Possible, if Imu has access to vital essences, like those used in ancient rituals that have been mentioned. A controlled Shanks would change every dynamic. Would his crew rebel? Lucky Roo, shooting his own captain to save him. Pure tragedy. So guys, welcome to part 2 of this insane theory about Imu forcing the return of the Abyss on Shanks and taking over his body. In part 1, we saw how the current manga plants all the seeds for this to happen. The mark that grants power and immortality to the Gorosei. Shanks' mysterious past with the world government, the lost arm as a possible escape from the connection, and the remote control Imu exerts over servants. Now, let's imagine how this would truly explode in the story. Picture the exact moment. The world is in chaos after Egghead. Luffy has openly declared war on the government. The revolutionaries are advancing, and Blackbeard is hunting devil fruits. Shanks, as always, appears behind the scenes trying to balance everything. Suddenly, in the middle of a conversation with his crew, or even during a meeting with Luffy, he freezes. A phantom pain shoots through the stump of his left arm. His eyes darken for a second. His voice comes out deeper, colder. Ben Beckman draws his weapon immediately, because he knows his captain better than anyone. "This isn't you, Shanks." Imu, sitting on the throne in merry joys, smiles. The mark is returned, not as a visible tattoo, but as a spiritual chain that has reformed. The manga has already shown that the Abyss isn't purely physical. The Gorosei regenerate in absurd ways and obey without a single word. Why wouldn't an old connection be reignited? Shanks would resist with everything he has, his conqueror's haki exploding outward, knocking out nearby marines, but his body begins to move on its own. He raises Griffon against his will, pointing it at someone he loves. The drama would be brutal. Luffy arriving and seeing his idol turned into a puppet. Imagine that emotional punch. "Shanks, stop it! Are you still in there?" And Shanks, sweating blood, replying in a broken voice, "Run, kid. Don't let him use my body against you." It would be the perfect parallel to what happened with Kuma's sacrifice turned into a weapon in the enemy's hands. But Shanks isn't just anyone. His haki is so monstrous that it could create an internal barrier, delaying full possession. That would buy time for his crew to react, and for allies like Mihawk or even Rayleigh to step in. The red-haired pirate would become a living battlefield. Freedom versus absolute slavery. In the end, this theory fits perfectly with what Oda is building. The world government does not tolerate those who escape the system. Shanks escaped once, paying a terrible price. Emu collecting that debt would be cruel, poetic, and completely in line with One Piece. Luffy, as Joy Boy, would have to break the abyss not just to save the world, but to free the man who bet everything on him. So, what do you think? Does this actually happen, or is Shanks simply too strong to fall like this? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because if Oda pulls this trigger, the ending of One Piece will be even more epic. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.